Income sources, the different ways to earn money. Explore earned income, passive income, and portfolio income. Money enters our lives in many different ways, but most people grow up learning about only one: work, earn a salary, pay bills, and repeat. While earned income is important, it is only one part of the larger income ecosystem. Understanding how different income sources work can completely change the way you think about earning, saving, investing, and building long term financial security. At the highest level, income can be understood through three major categories: earned income, passive income, and portfolio income. Earned income comes primarily from your active work, skills, time, or services. Passive income is generated from assets, businesses, intellectual property, or systems that may continue producing money with less ongoing involvement after the initial work or investment. Portfolio income generally comes from financial investment through interest, dividends, and capital gains. Imagine three people. The first two works 8 hours a day and receives a salary. The second owns a rental property that generates monthly rent. The third owns shares in companies and receives dividends or profits when investments increase in value. All three are earning money, but their income is created through very different mechanisms. In this video, we will explore 10 connected key points that explain the different ways to earn money, how each income source works, its benefits and risks, and how ordinary people can gradually build a diversified income structure. The objective is not to chase quick money, it is to understand how income works so you can make better financial decisions throughout your life. Point number one: understand the three major types of income. A first toward building a stronger financial life is understanding that not all income is created in the same way. The three broad categories we will focus on are earned income, passive income, and portfolio income. Each has a different relationship with your time, capital, skills, risk, and the level of involvement. Earned income is money received in exchange for active work. Salaries, wages, consulting fees, freelance payments, commissions, bonuses, and business income directly connected to your labor can fall into this category. You work, provide value, and receive money in return. For most people, this is where their financial journey begins. Passive income comes from an asset or system designed to continue generating revenue without requiring the same direct exchange of time for every payment. Rental income, royalties, licensing fees, and income from certain automated businesses are common examples. However, passive does not mean effortless. Most passive income sources require initial capital, significant upfront work, ongoing maintenance, or some combination of all three. Portfolio income is generated through financial assets, depending on local definitions and tax laws. This can include dividends from stocks and interest from bonds or deposits and capital gains from selling investments for more than their purchase price. Consider Alex, who earned $3,000 a month from a job, receives $300 in return from a jointly owned property, and earns $100 in dividends from investments. Alex has three different income engines operating simultaneously. This distinction matters because every income source behaves differently. A salary may stop when employment ends. Rental income can be affected by vacancies and repairs. Dividends can be reduced. Investment values can fall. No income source is automatically guaranteed. Understanding these three categories gives you a financial map. Instead of asking only how can I earn more, you begin asking a better question: what combination of skills, assets, systems, and investments can create sustainable income over time? That question leads directly to the foundation of most people's financial lives: earned income. Next, point number two: earned income. Turning time and skills into money. Earned income is usually the first and the most accessible income sources. You provide your time, knowledge, labor, experience, creativity, or expertise, and someone pays you in return. An employee receives a salary, a freelancer charges for a project, a consultant receives professional fees, a salesperson earns commissions, a skilled technician gets paid for solving specific problems. The biggest strength of the earned income is accessibility. You do not necessarily need significant financial capital to start earning. You can begin with your existing skills and improve your earning capacity through education, training, experience, networking, and specialization. However, earned income has one major limitation. It is often closely connected to the time and ability to work. If you stop working, your income may decrease or stop completely. A person earning $30 per hour can increase income by working more hours, but there are only 24 hours in a day. Eventually, time becomes a hard constraint. This is why increasing the value of our time is often more powerful than simply increasing the number of hours you work. The beginner graphic designer may earn $20 for a simple task. After developing expertise in branding and working with larger clients, a same professional may earn hundreds or thousands of dollars for a project requiring a similar amount of time. For example, imagine Maya starts her career earning $2,000 per month. Instead of relying on annual salary increases, she develops data analysis skills, improves her communication ability, earns relevant certifications, and takes responsibility for more valuable projects. 5 years later, she earns $5,000 per month. Maya still has earned income, but she has increased the market value of her skills. This reveals an important principle. Your first financial asset is often your earning ability. Before building a large investment portfolio or purchasing income producing assets, many people first need to create surplus cash through active work. Earned income pays today's expenses, but when managed intelligently, it can also finance tomorrow's assets. The question is what you do with money after earning it. And this brings us to the next critical concept, transforming active income into financial capacity. Next, point number three, use earned income as a foundation for building assets. Earning money is valuable, but income alone does not automatically create wealth. What matters is the gap between what you earn and what you spend, and how productively you use that surplus. Suppose two people each earn $5,000 per month. The first spends all $5,000. The second spends $4,000 and consistently saves or invests $1,000. Although their incomes are identical, the long-term financial trajectories may become completely different. The second person is converting earned income into assets. This is the bridge between active work and greater financial independence. Your salary or business income can provide the capital needed to build an emergency fund, to invest in financial markets, acquire productive assets, develop intellectual property, or create a business system. Consider Daniel, who earns $4,000 per month. After necessary expenses, he has $500 available. Instead of allowing lifestyle inflation to absorb every salary increase, he builds an emergency reserve and then regularly invests part of his surplus into a diversified portfolio. At first, the portfolio generates very little income, perhaps only a few dollars in dividends or interest. That can feel insignificant, but Daniel is doing something strategically important. He is gradually moving from having only one income source, his labor, to owning assets capable of producing additional financial returns. The process is usually slow at the beginning. $1,000 investment cannot reasonably be expected to generate enough sustainable income to replace a full-time salary. Building meaningful asset income generally requires time, capital, consistency, and realistic return expectations. This is where many people make mistakes. They become impatient and search for schemes promising immediate passive income with no effort, no capital, and no risk. Such promises should be treated with extreme caution. A stronger strategy is straightforward. Earn actively, manage expenses intelligently, create a surplus, and use part of that surplus to acquire productive assets. Over time, those assets may begin producing another category of income. That brings us to one of the most misunderstood ideas in personal finance, passive income. Next, point number four, passive income. Build once, earn repeatedly, but maintain realistic expectations. Passive income is often Passive income is often marketed as money that arrives while you sleep without requiring any effort. That description is attractive but incomplete. True passive income usually requires at least one of three things: upfront capital, upfront work, or ongoing management. For example, buying a rental property requires money for the purchase or down payment, transaction cost, maintenance, insurance, and potential property management. Writing a book requires research, writing, editing, publishing, and marketing for royalties can be earned. Creating an online course requires expertise, production, distribution, and customer support. Building a business requires systems, employees, processes, capital, and oversight. The key characteristic of passive income is not zero work. It is reduced dependence on a direct or for money exchange. Imagine Sophia spends 6 months creating a high quality educational course. During those 6 months, she may earn nothing from the course. Once launched, however, 10 people can buy it, then 100 people, potentially without Sophia personally teaching every student for an additional hour. The income source has become scalable. Compare this with private tutoring. If Sophia teaches one student for 1 hour, she gets paid once. To earn twice as much, she may need to teach twice as many hours. With a recorded course, the same educational content can potentially be sold repeatedly, but a passive income still involves risk. The course may not sell, competition may increase, technology may change, advertising costs can rise, customer expectations may require updates. This is why passive income should be viewed as a system, not magic. The strongest passive income systems usually solve a real problem, provide genuine value, and can operate with decreasing marginal involvement from the creator or owner. For beginners, the practical lesson is not to quit a stable job immediately to pursue passive income. A more sustainable approach is often to use active income to create financial stability while gradually experimenting with the scalable assets and systems. One of the world's examples of asset generated income is real estate, which leads us to next point. Point number 5, rental income, earning from real estate assets. Rental income is one of the most widely recognized forms of asset generated income. A person owns a property and allows someone else to use it in exchange for rent. The basic model sounds simple: buy property, find a tenant, collect rent, but the actual economics are more complex. A property's gross rental income is not the same as profit. Owners may need to account for mortgage payments, taxes, insurance, repairs, maintenance, vacancies, management fees, legal compliance, and unexpected capital expenses. Let's say example, suppose Carlos wants an apartment that generates $1,500 in monthly rent. Someone might immediately assume that Carlos earns $18,000 annually in passive income, but perhaps he pays $700 monthly toward financing, $200 for taxes and insurance, an average of $150 for maintenance and management, and occasionally losses rental income during vacancies. His actual cash flow could be far lower than the headline rental figure. This is why serious investors focus on net income and cash flow, not simply gross rent. Real estate can potentially provide several financial benefits. It may produce recurring rental income, increase in market value over time, and provide diversification, but none of this outcome is guaranteed. Property values. Real estate can potentially provide several financial benefits. It may produce recurring rental income, increase in market value over time, and provide diversification, but none of these outcomes is guaranteed. Property values can decline, tenants can leave, repairs can be expensive, and the local regulations can change. Real estate also has a liquidity limitation, unlike publicly traded investments that may be sold relatively quickly. Selling property can take weeks or months and involve significant transaction cost. For some people, direct property ownership is appropriate. For others, it may require too much capital or management responsibility. The larger lesson is that passive income comes from owning something productive. In real estate, you own space that people are willing to pay to use. But the productive assets do not have to be physical. Knowledge, creativity, and intellectual property can also generate recurring income. Next point number 6, royalties and digital assets. Turning knowledge into scalable income. In the modern economy, an asset does not need to be building machine or piece of land. A book, a song, software, application, photograph, design, pattern, online course, digital template, or licensed technology can also become an income producing asset. This is where royalties and digital income enter the picture. A royalty is generally a payment made to the owner, creator of an asset for the right to use that asset. Authors may receive royalties from book sales, musicians may earn from licensed music, inventors can license patents, photographers can license images, software developers can sell subscriptions or usage rights. The powerful characteristic of digital assets is scalability. Creating the first unit can require sustainable growth work, but reproducing, distributing additional digital copies may cost relatively little. Imagine Oisa is an expert in spreadsheet automation. She spends hundreds of hours creating a professional financial planning template. If she provides custom consulting, she must personally work with every client. But if she sells a digital template, the same product could potentially save 10, 100 or 10,000 customers. However, scalability does not guarantee success. A product still needs demand. Customers need to discover it. Competition exit. Platform charge fees, products require updates, copyright and licensing issues must be managed appropriately. The central principle is create once, distribute repeatedly. This does not mean everyone should immediately become a content creator or launch a digital product. The better starting question is what useful knowledge, skill, process, or intellectual property do I have or could I develop that solves a genuine problem for other people. For a teacher, it could be educational materials. For a designer, it could be templates. For a programmer, software. For a writer, books or specialized publications. Passive income systems become sustainable when they are built around a value rather than hype. Once earned income begins producing savings and savings begin purchasing assets, another major category becomes increasingly relevant: portfolio income. Next point number 7, portfolio income, making financial assets work for you. Portfolio income comes from owning financial assets such as stocks, bonds, funds, and other investments. Depending on asset and jurisdiction, returns can arrive through dividends, interest, capital gains, or distributions. A dividend is a payment that some companies make to shareholders from available profits to profits or reserves. Interest is generally compensation received for lending money, such as through a certain bonds or deposits. A capital gain occurs when when an investment is sold for more than its purchase price. Let's say example, imagine Liam invests $10,000 in a diversified investment portfolio. During the year, he receives $300 in dividends and interest. Later, his portfolio's market value rises to $11,000. He has received cash income and also has an unrealized increase in value. Although market prices can move in either direction, portfolio income has an important advantage. It allows people to participate financially in productive businesses and debt markets without personally operating those businesses. If you own shares in a company, you have an economic ownership interest in that enterprises. If the business grows successfully, shareholders may benefit through appreciation or distributions, but ownership also involves risk. Companies can underperform, dividends can be reduced, and stock prices can decline significantly. The same principle applies to other financial assets. Higher potential returns generally involve some form of risk, and there is no investment that simultaneously offers extremely high guaranteed returns, complete liquidity, and zero risk. Diversification is therefore important. Instead of depending entirely on one economy, industry, country, or assets, investors can spread exposure across multiple holdings. For beginners, portfolio income often starts very well. A person may receive only a few dollars in dividends during the first year. The objective is not immediate income replacement, but gradual assets accumulation. Over time, regular contributions and compounding can make the portfolio increasingly meaningful. This leads to one of the most powerful mechanisms in finance: compound growth. Next point number 8. Compounding. When your returns begin generating their own returns. Compounding occurs when the returns guaranteed by an asset are reinvested and begin producing additional returns themselves. Imagine you invest $10,000 and hypothetically earn an average annual return of 7% after 1 year. The investment could grow to approximately $10,700, ignoring taxes, fees, and market fluctuations. If the full amount remains invested and again earns a 7% next year, return is calculated on $10,700 rather than original $10,000. Over long periods, this repeated process can produce sustainable growth. At the hypothetically constant 7% annual return, $10,000 left untouched for 30 years would grow to approximately $76,000. This is only an illustration, not a guaranteed investment outcome, but it demonstrates the mathematical power of time. Now imagine someone also adds money regularly. Combination of initial capital, consistent contribution, investment returns, and time can accelerate wealth accumulation. The key ingredient is often not extraordinary intelligence, it is patience. Consider two hypothetical investors. Emma begins investing $200 per month at age of 25. Noah begins at 40. Even if both earn the same average return, Emma's additional 15 years of compounding can create a sustainable advantage. This is why time can be one of the most valuable assets available to an investor. However, compounding also works negatively. High interest rate can compound against you. Fees can compound against your returns. Inflation can reduce purchasing power over time. The principle is neutral. The direction matters. Once you understand compounding, the goal of building multiple income sources becomes clearer. Earned income can provide capital. Capital can acquire productive assets. Productive assets can generate income. That income can be reinvested in to acquire more assets. This creates a financial flywheel, but multiple income sources should not be confused with having as many side hustles as possible. The next point explains how to diversify intelligently. Next point number 9. Build multiple income sources without losing focus. The phrase multiple streams of income is popular, but it is frequently misunderstood. Some people assume they need 7 businesses, 5 side hustles, rental properties, stocks, online courses, and freelance clients simultaneously. That approach can create exhaustion rather than financial freedom. The objective is not to maximize the number of income streams, it is to build a resilient and manageable income structure. For many people, the first priority should be strengthening one primary source of earned income, develop valuable skills, increase employability, negotiate better compensation, improve professional expertise, create consistent cash flow. Once that foundation is stable, the next step could be building an emergency fund and starting a diversified investment portfolio. Later, depending on skills, capital, goals, and risk tolerance, a person might explore a business, rental property, digital assets, or another scalable source. Consider James, a software engineer. His first income source is his salary. He then regularly invests part of that salary into diversified funds. After several years, he creates a specialized software tool that customers can purchase through a subscription. James now has earned income, portfolio exposure, and business generated recurring revenue. But notice the sequence. He did not try to build everything in 1 week. Each stage supported the next. Diversification is valuable because income sources can behave differently. A job may be lost, a business may experience weak sales, stock markets may decline, rental properties can face vacancies. Having different sources can potentially reduce dependence on a single financial engine. Although diversification cannot eliminate all risk, The most effective income portfolio should match your personal situation. Someone with limited capital but strong skills may focus first on earned income. Someone with accumulated savings may emphasize portfolio investments. An entrepreneur may focus on creating scalable systems. There is no universal formula. The strongest strategy is one you understand, can manage, and can sustain consistently. This brings all the concepts together in our final point, designing your personal income ecosystem. Next point number 10, create your personal income ecosystem. An income ecosystem is the complete structure through which money enters your financial life. Instead of viewing salary, investments, businesses, and assets as isolated elements, you begin seeing how they can work together. The process can start with earned income. You work and earn money. You spend less than you earn. You create an emergency reserve. You invest part of the surplus. Your investments may generate dividends, interest, or capital appreciation. You reinvest some returns. Over time, you may also build or acquire another protective assets. Each part strengthens the next. Consider a hypothetical example. Maria earns $4,000 per month from her profession. After expenses and financial obligations, she consistently saves under $600. She first builds an emergency fund, then she invests $400 into a diversified long-term portfolio and uses $200 to develop a digital educational product based on her professional expertise. Several years later, her primary income still comes from employment, but her financial structure is broader. Her portfolio has grown. She receives some investment income. Her digital product produces occasional sales. Eventually, she may have three functioning income engines: earned income from her career, scalable income from her digital assets, and portfolio income from investment. This does not mean she is financially independent overnight. It means she is gradually reducing total dependence on a single paycheck. A practical framework is to ask yourself three questions. First, how can I increase my earned income by improving my skills and value? Second, how much of my current income can I consistently convert into productive assets? Third, when additional income source genuinely matches my knowledge, capital, available time, and risk tolerance. Your answers may change throughout life. A student may focus on skills, a young professional may prioritize career growth and investing, a business owner may build systems, someone approaching retirement may focus more heavily on income stability and capital preservation. The goal is not to copy another person's financial life. The goal is to intentionally build your own. Finally, income is more than a paycheck. It is the result of how you combine time, skills, knowledge, capital, ownership, system, and patience. Earned income allows you to exchange your abilities for money. Passive income systems can reduce the direct connection between every dollar earned and every hour worked. Portfolio income allows your accumulated capital to participate in financial markets and potentially generate additional returns. But remember, no legitimate income source is automatically effortless, risk-free, or guaranteed. The journey usually begins with one simple sequence: earn, keep your portion, build assets, reinvest intelligently, and diversify gradually. You do not need 10 income streams tomorrow. You need to understand your current income, strengthen your financial foundation, and take the next sensible step. So ask yourself today, if my primary income stopped tomorrow, what other financial engines would continue work for me? That question is not meant to create fear. It is meant to create awareness, because long-term financial security is rarely built through one lucky decision. It is usually created through thousands of small, intelligent decisions made consistently over time. If you found this video valuable, share it with someone who wants to understand money beyond just earning a salary. Subscribe for more clear and practical finance education, and continue building your knowledge one financial concept at a time. Remember, don't just work for income. Learn how to build income sources that can work together for your future. Thank you.